Hello, everyone. It's Martin Holmes here, bringing to you a second installment of University Success and the principles to help you being a great academic, student, and also the person that you want to be. I'm coming this week to talk about goal setting and how important it can be for not just young adults, not just adults, but all people at all stages of life. I'm going to talk to you a bit about the barriers to some goal setting, and I'm going to give you some tips on how the people who are talking about goal setting, as far as productivity and leaders in that industry, are helping people with goal setting. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that is very common for people. Once upon a time, there's a young person who dreamed of all sorts of things relating to their interests. Writing a book, running a marathon, traveling parts of the world, getting a career, the house, the car, the lifestyle they envision. These people often go to college, and while they're dealing with the transition to college, end up having things that are prioritized in their life. Soon after college, the rush to get a job, to find someone to be with, to start a family, to start work, looking for promotions, and little time to think about these previous dreams. Now, we would never hesitate to criticize someone for wanting or changing their goals, but people often don't have a chance to actually go back and fulfill some of the things that they actually want to do when they think about it. Things like exercising, eating healthier, a number of, non-essential things that people would like to accomplish. Now, oftentimes, one of the main barriers to getting these goals done is that people don't, that dreams stay dreams, visions stay visions, and the practice of goal setting rarely makes it into the equation. Now, I think even though that's a common story, I think somewhere deep down there is a little bit of the frustrated dreamer in us. We all have things that we want to accomplish, large or small, or even insignificant things around the house. The problem really is that we don't take enough time to properly vision what do we want things to look like in this amount of time or this amount of time, or we don't take our goal setting seriously. Now, why are goals important? Well, everyone has goals. That's the thing. And the people, surprisingly enough, the people who actually record them and set out a strategy for reaching them are the people who happen to be the people who achieve most. So if the professionals, the most successful people, are doing these things, why wouldn't you? A goal program really is about building a balanced life. There's nobody that says all your goals have to be in one specific category, but when you do get a chance to think about setting yourself up with a particular goals program, you're able to chart out personally what areas you want to focus the most attention or book times into your life. Now, what I always find amazing from a student's perspective is how many students say how excellent they work under pressure, or procrastination works for me as a studying practice. I thrive on the pressure, and I always wonder if these people are so productive with the night before or the week something's due. I wonder how much more successful they would be if they were to set better academic goals to be able to achieve some of the outcomes that are expected of them. I'm going to turn your attention quickly to the work of a man named Zig Ziglar, who is a self-help, self-development person, and mainly his concept of the wheel of life. Now, the wheel of life is designed as I guess it would be a wheel, so you could imagine different spokes. And each of these different spokes are areas in our life that often need goals set for them in order for us to become the best we could be. These spokes typically under Ziegler's idea is that we have some sort of financial plan in place. We have a bit of a spiritual plan in place, a mental, or you could even categorize this as intelligence. So what do you want to do academically? We have physical goals. We have career or business-oriented goals. And we also have some family goals. So it does run a range of what's typically thought of as the balanced life. So in each area here, Zig Ziglar suggests that someone should be setting goals in each of these areas and determining some actions or tasks, as they call them. Now, some of the most recent science coming out of behavioral psychology is this idea that a goal should be set for about 21 days. That's emerging as the window that if you were to change a behavior, that's the window that it takes for that behavior to stick as a habit. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because most goals, once they're reached, if you were doing them enough, then just become part of your routine and you can move on and move on. So while some people suggest you should be setting 100 goals and working towards all of them all the time, I always suggest to young students, set some specific goals that are reachable for 21 days, and once you reach them, you'll already be able to say that's part of my behavior and move on to a new one. So you're always seeing some level of advancement. So you're going to be celebrating some successes, all sorts of rewarding behaviors that are also psychologically driven. Now, even Nike and the fitness apps that are out there, Fitbit, these different types of athletic companies or habit-forming companies are also using this 21 days as their measure. With people using the fitness bands, with people using the Nike Plus that was able to do measurements from your shoe to the app. The idea is that if you were able to stick to a fitness or a physical improvement regime for 21 days, that was the time you were more likely to carry on going as part of your new life. So this does have some background in the physical fitness behavior type goals. Now, what kind of goals would we set? Would we just say, I'm going to set just any old goal and say, all right, I'm just going to start doing something? Or what's the strategy for being able to set these up? Now, the goal setting gurus have a number of different types of formulas or way to record these or way to write them out. But my ultimate, after doing this and teaching it with students and student leaders for years and years, is the SMART goal technique. Now, people say, I've learned about this before, it doesn't really work for me, I prefer something else. The fact is, there's lots out there. I encourage you to find your own. But until you do, I would also suggest that you take up the SMART Goal Challenge. Now, what does SMART Goals mean? It is an acronym that looks at each first letter as meaning something specific, that's the first one, something that can describe the particular goal that you're setting. So first of all, S starts for specific. My suggestion is this needs to be so specific that you even feel foolish writing it. M, measurable. How are you going to know that you succeeded at your goal? It has to be measurable in some way, whether that's an amount, a time, whether you've done it or you haven't. Next, it has to be attainable or achievable. There's a lot of people out there that set lofty goals as part of their goal setting criteria that maybe they've never participated in something or don't know how achievable it is. So for instance, I want to be able to swim 40 laps at the pool. Well, that might be okay for someone who's swam before, but if you've never done lap swimming, that might not be an achievable goal for you at that point. So it has to be something you know you could reach. Is it relevant is the next letter, the R. What does this have to do with any goal that you're hoping or any vision that you have of yourself? Does it help you take one step closer to the person that you want to be? Does it take one step closer to a particular vision you have about yourself? And the last should be time-based or time-bound. Now, I always say 21 days because then you'll be able to reset your goals or start something new. But by the month, by the semester, which is nice when you're in school, but when you're out of school, you don't really run on a semester. So let me put this into a practical sense. So I'm trying to eat healthier. So I'm going to set a SMART goal. And my SMART goal is I want to eat at least one apple a day for 21 days. So we've got, it's specific because I'm saying what it is I'm eating. It's measurable. I want to eat one a day. It's attainable. I can easily buy apples and I can easily store apples and I can easily eat apples. Is it relevant? Yes, because it helps me towards my vision of healthy eating, and it's time-based. So for 21 days, I want to eat an apple a day. That's how specific it has to be. That's how smart that goal is. So we'll go a little bit more into detail in this class. Now, what do you do when you have these SMART goals set? You write them down. There is no sense. That's how goals get lost. That's how goals get overdone. You absolutely have to write these things down and post them somewhere visible so that you're reminded of them. That's what helps you set commitments. Now, the next thing about writing these goals down is if you place any priority in these actions, in these goals, in the idea of helping yourself get better, you need to schedule time for these things. Now, all of us, when we talk about time management, will start to use some sort of planner. Now, if you're looking to eat healthier, or you're looking to become more social, or study more, or try and take a weekend course in something that's helping you reach your career, you have to get it into your schedule. That's what helps people stick to things. Getting it written down, getting it into some sort of day planner. And then the next bit is an interesting one. So people are starting to even capture the investment that people have to give to their goals. So one suggestion, easy and cheap, is let people know what your new goals are. If they're your friends, they will help you reach it because they are invested in your well-being. There's even some apps out there, and people do this between themselves, is even start to wager on particular goals. Swear jars are always an easy example for something like that. Putting between your roommates, each putting $5 in, and the person who gets more steps at the end of the week is able to collect the pot. And I also think that people need to invest in their goals. So it's easy to have a lot of expenses related